Hey, what's going on, everybody? Got a special guest with me back today. My boy Santi, how you living today, bro?
What's up, brother? How are you, man? Good to see you.
Hey, man, not as good as them. Hey, trying to live them Vilsec days back in my mind. Some days, man. Pearls one. You know how we get down.
Yeah, man. It's hard to
Hey,
believe that was like 10 years ago, man.
dude, going on it. We got to get back over there for a round robin then.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Hey, so if you don't mind, man, we're on another episode of military to civilian, with like the road march to civilian life, I guess you could call it on this episode. So if you don't mind, let everyone know, why you joined the army. Obviously, we met in Germany, and
Mhm.
give us a little backstory on that. And then, if you don't mind, just bring us up to speed on to when you were getting ready to get out the military.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I joined the army in about May of 2011. I had originally tried to join the Marine Corps at 17 years old, but that didn't end up working out. I ended up getting into some trouble right before I ended up shipping out, but waited a year and decided to try and enlist in the army. I enlisted as an 11 Bravo infantry, and I just at the time I think I my reasoning for joining the military was I really had nothing going for me, man. I tried to go to college. I hated it. I hated school in general. I really had no sense of purpose or sense of direction. I really just needed a way to break out, and joining the army, at the time I felt was my biggest my best option. I guess I could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long do you think you were going to stay in the service for when you signed up?
I honestly thought I was just gonna do my 3 years, and then towards the last end of my the tail end of my third year, we came down on order to go to Afghanistan. While I was in Afghanistan, my reenlistment window had opened up, and I had told our first sergeant at the time. He asked me if I wanted to reenlist, and I said no, I didn't. But I had a squad leader pull me aside. One of probably the best squad leader I ever had in the army. He pulled me aside and had a heart-to-heart conversation with me, a total dad mode. And he was like, "Look, tell me your plan. What do you got going on? Why are you going to get out of the army? Are you going to go to school? Are you already registered for school? Or where are you going to live? You know, my fear for you is if you do go back, you're just gonna end up getting into some trouble." So it was a really heart to heart moment, and I ended up re-enlisting, and I went needs of the army, and somehow came down on orders to go to Hawaii.
Not bad.
So I originally signed a 2 year re-enlistment, so I had to extend that another 18 months. So it was 36 months, and I ended up going to Hawaii. So I did 6 years 6 years, 1 month, I think total. So I had no idea that I was going to do that long, but I'm really glad I did. Really glad
Okay.
I did.
Hey,
I got a lot.
who was the squad leader, dude? I'm trying to think of it.
Sarge,
I'm trying to think who it
Sarge,
was, bro.
it was Sarche. Sarche.
Sarche, shout out
Yeah,
Sarche.
best squad leader ever,
Hey,
man.
bro. Hey, dude. Honestly, you're the first person that I've honestly talked to. I'm sure there's many more out there, but have actually said that they've got sat down by like their first line supervisor
Yeah,
or their leadership and like actually asked those questions. So, dude, shout out to you, Sergeant Shea, man, for having
oh,
that insight,
absolutely.
bro. Honestly, dude, for real, because that should be mandatory, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, who else is
Yeah,
going to ask
yeah.
you that? Your people that are going, your friends aren't asking you. They're worried about going to PT. Like, so
Mhm.
shout out to him for doing that, bro.
Yeah, man, and I think it was great because it exposed a lot of holes in my plan.
Yeah,
I think
exactly,
I
dude.
think a lot of veterans get caught up in that one track, like with that one lane of just like I want to get out, I want to get out, I want to get out,
Oh yeah,
and I for sure was falling under that mindset. So I'm really glad that he pulled me aside and had that conversation with me. It really helped me a lot.
for sure. So you went to Hawaii, living it up out there. Probably I still never been, but I'm trying to get out there one
You
day
should
soon. It
definitely
looks
go,
nice.
bro. You should definitely go.
I got to. You do the Stairway to Heaven? I mean, I know I
Yeah,
asked you about that when you were out there. You said you did it, right?
yeah, I did it about 4 times. I almost died the first time I did it because we went the back way and it started raining on us, and the whole mountain just became muddy, so we were like
Ooh.
sliding down the mountain. So it was a pretty it was a pretty interesting moment, but yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful hike, man. It's a very beautiful hike.
I'll take your word for it and just stick to the beach.
Yeah.
Dude, so when you got to Hawaii, did you have that like that message from Sergeant Shea still like in your forefront, or did you sort of put it to the back burner? How'd your time go in Hawaii, if you want to touch on that?
I mean, I got there motivated. I got there very, very motivated. I had I was still a specialist. I had some team leader time, but obviously, since I wasn't an NCO, I wasn't rated. So, I
Okay.
mean, I got there motivated. There was rumors of a deployment when I got there. So my main goal was to get a fire team to get promoted to E5. They did air assault school there on island, so my whole goal was to get air assault school, try and go to ranger school,
Okay.
like I got there really motivated, but that all came to a screeching halt. Because when I got there, they put me in an S3 shop, and
Okay.
so I had no idea what that entailed or what that was. So that kind of halted all plans for me. But we did end up deploying, but it just wasn't a combat deployment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do they give you for air assault wings? They give you like half the wings because it's at Hawaii and not Fort Campbell.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you, man. No, that's good though. But so you pretty
Yeah.
much were getting ready to get tabbed out, get your stack going, and then
Yeah.
they just said, "Here you go. Welcome to the office."
Yeah, yeah. So at the time, a lot of people had either ETS or PCS. So actually, a lot of people from the Germany unit that I was in ended up going to the same brigade that I was in Hawaii.
Okay.
And at the time, the NCO in charge of the S3 shop was a new NCO, so he wanted like a whole new layout, a whole new batch of like attack platoon, the command sergeant majors drivers, the battalion commanders drivers, so like all these things. So there was a lot of us who came off the line and went straight into that section. So usually, the way they had done it was all like the profile people or the people who just couldn't, their bodies couldn't handle being on the line anymore would go up there and fill those slots.
Okay.
But at the time, I got there and they were like, look, all you got to do is do a year and we'll push you back down the line and that's it. So it was a pretty interesting a year, I would say. But it wasn't too bad.
What'd you end up doing after the year? Were you working on your plan of getting out, or were you thinking about staying in because Hawaii was cool, or what were you doing?
So that year was pretty rough, man. It was learning a whole new system of how an infantry battalion operated. I really had no experience in a talk. I had no experience setting up a talk. I had no experience, with working with, the battle staff, OIC, the officers or the senior NCOs. So it was an interesting year. Like, man, they worked us. We were
Yeah.
always at work. We were always at work, and there was I mean, man, all of us were we were a close bunch, but we drank a lot to kind of like fill that void of always being at work or always being on call or all this stuff. But a year and a half into it, I pretty much had come up with the idea of just, I knew I wanted to get out. I knew that's the army was just sucking me dry, and just my mental health was deteriorating. And there came a point where I had a conversation with the command sergeant major, the battalion command sergeant major, and he asked me if I was going to get out of the army. And I told him, I said, look, sergeant major, at this point, like the way everything's going, yeah, I hate it. I don't like it. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. This isn't where I thought I was going to end up. And at that point, he locked me in to be his driver, and
Oh,
he didn't let me go anywhere. So I talked to my company first sergeant. I talked to my section sergeant. I even went to IG to try to get out of it. I talked to the battalion commander, and everybody pretty much gave me the runaround, and I was stuck. So and all because I had a like a 2-second conversation with the sergeant major, and at that point, I was rated um, at the bottom of the barrel on my NCOER because the other two NCOs were going off in the army and continuing their careers, and I was pretty much stuck. I couldn't go anywhere. So at that point, my mental health started going further and further down. I started drinking a lot. I started just letting myself go. I gained a lot of weight. I was eating a lot of fast food. I wasn't sleeping right. I was just constantly just, I was in a bad place. I was in a
Yeah.
really, really bad place.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro, because I wouldn't
Yeah.
want that to go. I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. Never mind someone, I know, my friend like you, or that's crazy. So it's like they try to get you to get in with Sergeant Major, thinking that you're going to change your mind essentially. But that's like the farthest thing that you really wanted to do is do something like that. You just wanted to pretty much get out the right way and get on with your life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was literally like being in prison. Like,
Wow.
and it's like you're stuck there, and you're constantly just being asked to do all of this work and all of this, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because it is the army, and I did sign up for to serve in the army, but
Right.
at the end of the day, what I realized in that time is some organizations don't really care about individuals in that aspect. We have a mission to complete, and we don't care how we do it.
Yeah, most
So
definitely.
that's
And you're
that's the
just
hard
one
part.
person on the totem pole, so it's like they
Yeah.
could do it with or without you, but they're still trying to drag you into it. So
Yeah.
back to the mental health thing real quick. Now where you, like you said, you were drinking a lot. Now a lot of people in the military, a lot of people like us drank a lot. I did when I was
Oh
in
yeah.
Germany for, but you don't have much else you can do. So that's like how you release. You go to the field all the time, or
Yeah.
deployment, or just out on the weekend because you're working 12-hour days every day. So yeah, you're right. Time to unwind. But did you notice it at first that you were doing it, or were you just sort of doing it to like mask the pain? Did you
No, man.
see mental health or anything like that, or did you just
I
sort of?
don't. Sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
you're good, dude.
I don't think I realized it until years later how I was
Damn,
using alcohol to really mask all my emotions, mask how I was feeling, mask how I was deteriorating, and plus, like you said, not only in the infantry, but I think in the army.
military, bro, military, probably, dude.
Oh yeah, in the
Yeah,
entire military.
yeah,
There's this. What's the word I'm looking for? There's like a. It's a way of life, man. Like every
yeah,
like we work 60 plus hours a week, and then once Friday hits, from Friday to Sunday, we're getting as drunk as humanly possible.
most
And
definitely.
and for me, I think it definitely carried after I got out, but in that time I was drinking a lot. Like I was drinking a handle between two people,
Yeah.
and it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But yeah, I didn't realize it for a long time after I got out. How much I was actually drinking and how much it actually affected me.
Did you ever try to go to mental health, not for just the drinking, but just for the overload at work, and just try to talk to anyone like when you were in?
No, man, that at the time it was unheard of. I
Exactly.
think at the
Why?
time
Why? Why was it? Tell them why.
I mean, I'll give you a story. When I first got to the unit, there was a staff sergeant there, and he had gone through some pretty significant deployments. He was a Ramadi guy,
Okay.
Solder City Ramadi. I remember asking him, and he was in the process of going through mental health. And so when he would go, he would leave the office and it would be a pissing contest. It would be all these NCOs and officers saying, "Ah, that guy's a bitch. That guy's a chump. Like I can't believe he needs to go to mental health. I was in Iraq too, and I was in Afghanistan, and I went through this and I went through that, and I don't understand why he needs to seek out any help. Like I can't believe he can't handle it. I can't believe he can't this." It was just so I saw that, and it just left a really bad taste in my mouth, and you almost kind of get into this zone of really thinking like, well, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to have all eyes on me like that guy. And at the time, it just honestly, it was a little unheard of to go seek help in that sort of way. But later down the line, um I saw a lot more people doing it, and then I think at right before I got um it started becoming more acceptable in that the infantry world or in the military in general, which I'm happy about because you had people walking around with 4, 3, 2 deployments, where they have seen significant things happen. And I think everybody, like, if you need to go to get help, it shouldn't be frowned upon. I guess is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that instant, it just I didn't think I was able to at the time.
Okay. Yeah. So, how much time did you end up having left on your contract once you became like the sergeant major's driver, and what that looked like from there until you got out the military? Pretty much, probably the next.
I'd say about a year, and once I became the sergeant major driver, it was about a year and 8 months.
Okay.
And then we did a deployment through the Pacific. So it was a 4-month deployment. It was to Thailand, South Korea, and the Philippines, and that was just that was just a it was just like it was I don't want I mean, it was a shit show, man.
There you go.
It was it like it was a shit show. And
Oh man,
and we
you were the
did
sergeant major's driver the whole time. You're
oh
stuck to him
yeah.
the whole time.
Oh yeah. So each company was out training. We went as a battalion, but you're all over the place. You're up before the rest of the companies. You got to
Oh
get the
yeah,
sergeant major here, you got to get the sergeant major there. You're staying out past everybody else because the sergeant majors,
handing out
running
chow,
around,
doing this, bringing
watching the
this.
live
Yeah.
fire range. Yeah, so it was a shit show. But then we were a striker unit. When we got back, we were a striker unit. We did striker turn in. We went into to be light infantry. So
Okay.
that was a whole thing where we had all the command vehicles we had to turn in and do the layouts and all this stuff. And then we did a JRTC rotation, and I was due to get out. Uh, and my platoon sergeant at the time he's like, "Hey man, if you help us do the loadout, we'll leave you behind and let you do all the paperwork and do everything that you need to do to get out." And
Yeah.
so it was a month long, another shit show of loading everything on the boats, doing layouts, doing all the paperwork, running back and forth. And the day before everybody left, I got a phone call, and it was the same platoon sergeant. He was like, "Hey man, get your bags ready. We need the numbers. You're going with us." And
Oh
so I
man,
went to I went
what?
to JRTC. I went to JRTC, and when I got back, I had 27 days to get out of the army. So I was running
That's
around like
wild, dude.
yeah, yeah, man. So all that within the 3 years that I was there, my mental health just deteriorated, man. There was a couple points towards the end of my time there. I was driving to the back of the army base, and just I was crying. I was just miserable. I felt like I just I didn't want to live. I didn't want to do a lot of things. But it was about a year and 5 months of hell on earth, and then the shit show of trying to get out was another thing of trying to get the what's that program you do before you get out,
Hey,
all the classes?
taps or like Soldier for
Yeah, yeah,
Life
yeah.
or something, whatever they got,
Even
all different
even
ones.
getting to those,
A cap, whatever you want to
yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even getting to those appointments was a nightmare. Because my unit
Uh,
my unit was like, no, we need this, we need that, we need, like, so even getting to those classes was a nightmare.
that's
And
crazy, dude.
yeah, man. So when it came down to like filing for any disability, I wasn't able to. I wasn't able. I
None,
did
zero before you got out the
nothing.
military.
I got
None.
I got nothing. I got no award for my unit.
Me neither, bro. I
I got
got slapped
no
in the ass or
nothing.
something like that.
No,
That's it. You
I mean,
say out the door, see ya. Like,
not that I need an award or anything, but it's like, man, I just
bro, everybody gets one, dude. Get out of here. That's trash. That just means you're under trash. Let's keep it
yeah.
real. Like that's, dude. Seriously, like, imagine. I was just thinking in my head, like, imagine if you had Sergeant Shea like helping you out the army, bro. Like if he was like actually your
Oh man.
first line supervisor or
Yeah.
platoon sergeant when you're getting out. Now, a question I have for you is, did you call him to be like, yo, I'm getting? Did you ever?
No, bro. See, that's the
That
thing.
shit's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, man, I was just lost. I think I was so hell bent
I feel you, bro. I was in the same.
on
I was
bailing
same
out.
situation as you, bro. And
Yeah.
not as like not the same scenario, but I was literally up in the field till I got out, and then when it was my time to get out, they said, "Hey, here's two soldiers. You got to go escort. They're getting chaptered for overweight." Why should I do that? But just like you, I had like little to no time to clear base, so I feel you on that, bro. It sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, and you're just so ready to go that I didn't even go to the VA appointment to get any of my stuff looked at. So you didn't get anything. I didn't get anything. We're like, even if they told you had an appointment, but they said it was optional, you probably said, I'm not going. I'm ready to
Yeah.
go, bro. I'm not going.
Yeah,
Seriously, dude. It's
man.
crazy.
You know what's funny though is I saw Sergeant Che maybe in 2018, a year after I got out of the army. Me and my family were taking a vacation to Hawaii,
Okay.
and I didn't realize he had just gotten to the island.
Oh,
And so I
damn.
went and had breakfast with him. I met up with him. It was the first time I'd seen him in like almost 5 years.
That's awesome.
And I went and had breakfast with him, and he told me the same thing. He goes, "Why didn't you call me? Why did you
What?
like? We could have figured
You
this
didn't
out.
have
We
it.
could
You
have
didn't.
done
You
this."
just like, dude. I don't know what it is about the military, but it's like once you leave a unit, like those people are somewhere in your mind, but they're not on the forefront because you're not with them every day or so.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
yeah,
weird though because I had people from my first unit from Fort Campbell help me out. Why didn't I call them when I was in the military?
yeah,
Why didn't I call them before like I got out? Because I don't know, man. Don't live too much into like the present moment. Think about your past
yeah.
experiences as well, I guess, and people that you know.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I could have probably reached out to my old commander, my old first sergeant.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of squad leaders. I could have reached out to so many people, and I think that's where I kicked myself in the foot. Post military.
Yeah.
But it happened the way it was supposed to happen, and I mean, getting out of there was insane.
What'd
Running
that look like?
around,
What'd that look like? 27. Like that's about 20 days if you don't have any holidays because you're not clearing posts on the weekend. So
yeah.
you know what I mean? That's about 20
Yep.
days if you're lucky. What'd that look like?
I mean, the company my battalion was out in the field. Like right away, they went out to the field. So when I needed the company commander signatures, I couldn't get a hold of him.
Man.
Um, I just had to I missed my finance thing, tracking them down. You know how you go through the finance appointment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was trying to track down my commander. I missed my finance appointment. I ran to the finance building and they were closed. And I finaled out the next day. So I was like banging on the window and some lady came out and she's like, "We're closed." And I said, "Ma'am, I final out tomorrow. This is my last signature. Like, I please." And she was like, you could tell she didn't want to do it.
Oh
She
man, you
did
gotta
it,
love
bro.
that.
She did it. She did it. And then man, I will say when I got my DD 214, I cried, bro. I
I'll
sat in
blame
the
you.
car and I cried. I was like, man, it's finally over. It's
Oh
finally
man,
over.
I'll
But
blame you, dude. Congratulations on that surviving hell
yeah,
on earth.
it was barely, bro. Barely. I don't know how I did it. I really don't know.
So, what helped you with your mental health? Like, what the DD 214? Like, did your mental health problems sort of go away once you got that, or did it
Mm.
sort of like say, "Oh, now I'm out. Now I got to do like what? Did you have a plan? Did you have a job? Did you go to school?
Well,
What'd your exit
I
plan look like?"
well, I think I should backtrack a little bit because
Go
I
ahead.
think I had shot myself in the foot a little bit because I did a school drop.
Okay.
For those who don't know what a school drop is, it's you basically putting a packet together and signing up for school, getting approved to go to that school, and getting out of the army 90 days prior to your ETS date.
Okay.
So when I was trying to put this packet together, my chain of command wasn't helping me at all. They told me not to do it. They told me it was a bad idea. We have JRTC coming up, this, and that. So I went ahead and did it. And I submitted it myself to S1. I had one of my soldiers do it, and his got approved. And so it basically went up all the way to brigade. I got it approved, and my ETS date got moved up 90 days.
Okay.
So that's where the friction came with my platoon sergeant at the time, with him. When he found out that I was trying to do the school drop, but also at the time, um, President Trump was trying to keep people in the army. from within instead of getting new people coming into the army. So he wanted to keep all these people that were already in, and he was giving out all of these insane bonuses.
Okay.
So at the time, I had come down on orders to go to Fort Polk because they were going to
Oh
Iraq.
gosh.
Yeah, they were going to Iraq. So uh, they needed me to re-enlist to meet those orders. And so the career counselor was like, "Look, man, you got $17,000 signing bonus. If you should take it. It's only 3 years. You know this and that." So I was like, I really thought about it, and I was like, "Look, I already feel like I'm going to kill myself. There's no way I can do 3 more years.
Yeah.
There's no physical way, any way, shape, or form that I can do another 3 years in the army." So I turned it down. I turned
Yeah.
down $17,000, and thank God that I did, man, because so many people had re-enlisted that they cut the bonuses.
What?
They cut the bonuses, and a lot of people re-enlisted and didn't get the bonuses and were still stuck in the army. Um,
That's hey. So if anyone's out there and they got stuck in this, I'd love to hear about it. Not really like because that's funny, but that's insane. It's insane, dude. And you probably thought about it because it was 17,000 bonus.
yeah,
That
yeah.
just that was the part that sounded good. You know, like oh, I get a
Oh,
lump sum.
absolutely.
But you break that apart 3 years, it's really not that much. A little bit
No.
over extra $5,000 a year, and then you're going to Iraq and Polk. So man, I don't know. Some people say they
Yeah.
like Polk, but it's all what you. I don't know how you could like being in the middle of nowhere. But
No, I've been there, bro. It's
so
crazy.
that happened. Did you know
Yeah.
anyone that reenlisted and got hung up that didn't get their
Yeah.
money?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I actually got a call, about 8 or 9 months after I ETS'd by one of the NCOs that I knew, and he told me that everything like, he basically got to Fort Hood. They told him that his bonus got taken away, and he was stuck there. Then they sent him to Korea at night for 9 months.
Welcome to the army, boys and girls,
Yeah, man, yeah,
or
but,
welcome back in the army.
yeah, but, to go back to answer your original question, I don't think I had any idea what ride I was about to go on.
Okay.
There was that initial 3 months after the army. I think you go through this honeymoon phase,
Okay.
where you're so excited to get out. You have this newfound sense of freedom. I think I probably slept for like 2 weeks straight, man. Like
Probably
honestly,
so.
I slept and I slept and I ate and I ate and I partied. I partied hard. And once that 90 days, well, within that 90 days, the army had sent me. I had two paychecks within because I had 30 days of leave,
Okay.
ETS leave, and so they sent me two paychecks, and it was about a total of 5 grand. Um, so I think where I realized that I had issues, um, I went to do my counsel. I had meet up with my counselor from the school that I had signed up for. And I pulled up with no paperwork. I didn't realize that you needed an acceptance letter from the e-benefits or how to
Yeah.
start my. I had no clue. I had no idea what that stuff was. And so I went to this meeting with the counselor, and she started cussing me out. She was like, "How do you not have this paperwork? How do you not have this paperwork? How do you not have this form or this form?" And I was like, "Look, lady, um, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what this is." And she was like, "How could you not know this? I thought you were in the army and this and that." And I stood up and I yelled at her. I said, "I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but I just got done getting yelled at for 6 years, and I'm not gonna let you talk to me like that." And so I walked out
Wow.
and pretty much lost my spot in the school. And
Damn.
I had no plan. No plan. I had no backup plan. I had
That.
no plan. I had just finished blowing through my last two paychecks in the army.
Yeah.
I had $10 in my account. I had no freaking clue what I was gonna do, and I think that's where everything just started spiraling for me. Um,
Wow, dude.
I I
That's
real
wild.
I realized in those moments that I had an anger issue. I had a drinking problem. I suffered from really bad anxiety. I was falling into a hole of depression. Um, it's just that's where everything really started for me within that first 6 months of getting out of the army.
Yeah, and dude, that's yeah. And then you probably had that episode, and then you felt like no one at that school was going to help you because the person you're trying to go to for help just had a spaz on you, and then you're like, exactly like in the army, you're not really gonna take that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even as a human being, just yelling to get your point across isn't really going to work. And I've had to find that out the hard way too on the civilian sector of the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're NCO and you could scold a soldier, like the army in the old days or whatever you want to call it. Like, doesn't really work on the civilian sector,
Uh-huh.
and not even in the army anymore, bro. If you get yelled at, like, you're not really going to listen to that person, dude. For be honest, you know what I mean? People just
Right.
did that because they had the rank and they just want to do it. So we're all guilty of it, but
Yeah.
that's so once you hit like that rock bottom right there, what that look like with the $10, with the hey, I'm out of here, like I'm not even going to school now, because even if you were to go to school and she said, great, you start tomorrow, you're still not getting paid for another 30 days. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like
Right.
it's yeah, it's one thing after another, bro. And 5 grand's not that much because you still gotta get out. I had to move in with my own family, bro. Grown
I did
man
too.
with
Yeah, I
my
did
with
too.
a with a girlfriend with being pregnant. So that
Uh-huh.
you really gotta swallow something. And I started having to look for help too, because I'm not gonna lie, bro. When I first moved out of my own place, we had to get help from the JFCS, the Jewish Family Children Center, for like this Jewish Family Center of Services or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
But bro, you get out, you get no money, you're working like dead end jobs, or like you're 11 Bravo. So what you gonna go do? Pull security or do something like
Yeah.
that? Or
Yeah.
it's not like you're government contract and making good money. So same thing with me. I'm a cook in the army, but I don't have a culinary degree. But hey, you can work at Ruth Chris for $14 an hour. Hey, but I live in Sarasota. Hey, you live in California. It's $3,000 for rent. How are we supposed to survive out here? Oh, we
Mhm.
gotta live with our parents. We gotta live with our parents.
Yeah.
That's a harsh awakening, dude. Reality
No, it
check,
was,
whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
I was in there, bro.
especially, yeah, especially having, you got your own barracks room, you got your
Yeah,
own freedom, and then having to move back home, not having any money. You're on cloud nine at one point of, having a steady paycheck, having health insurance, having the freedom to do whatever you want, having to be this
bro. We're
authoritative
traveling
figure.
Europe.
Yeah.
We're traveling Europe, getting our passport stamped, doing our thing in Europe, and then like, yeah, man, it's crazy. I
You're
mean, to
you're
cut you
going a
off, but you're right.
thousand you're going 1,000 miles an hour. You're right. I mean, I really got lucky. I was in Germany, my first duty station, and then Hawaii. And
Yeah.
you're going to these through these two beautiful places, and then boom, you're sitting at your parents' house. You're not a sergeant anymore. You don't have people following orders. You can't. You're not this authoritative figure. And I really started going through this identity crisis.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't I didn't know who I was. My family
yeah,
thought I was yelling at them all the time, and in my eyes, I was speaking calmly.
yeah.
Because in the army, you speak a certain way, you use a certain tone,
Got to
and
sound
there
off, bro. It's
wasn't a
like you're not
lot of
talking like
friction.
whispering. I'm not yelling. I'm just talking. That's it.
And it caused a lot of friction. So I literally, within that 6 months, I had no money. I had no job, no plan. I was fighting a lot with my family. I was drinking. I was doing drugs. I can see how a lot of veterans get stuck in that hole, and they can't figure out how to get out, especially when a lot of them go back to broken homes, or they go back to, um, they don't have anywhere to go, they don't have no support system, because a lot of times you got to remember, um, families don't have any idea what's coming to them when their veteran comes home. They have no
You're right.
clue, and my cousin fell into that hole too. He got hooked on drugs. He was on the streets. My aunt had no clue how to deal with him, because how do you handle that? What do
I
you
don't
say to
even
that
know.
person? Like,
Yeah.
so for me, it was a spiral. It was a huge spiral, and I don't know how I made it out of it, man. But little by little, things started going in the right direction, and I'm really glad that they did, man. Because
What did it look like? What did the spiral in the right direction start looking like? The domino effect that got you
it
going to
was,
where you are now.
I had $10 in my bank account.
Yeah.
I was sitting there having a moment, and I had no idea what I was gonna do. And man, by the grace of God, man, I had a friend call me that night, and was like, "Hey, man, we need somebody to check IDs at the door at the bar that I'm working at. Do you need a job? And
Yeah.
so that night I got a job. I started going there. And then little by little, I found this school program where I can go become a personal trainer.
Okay.
So I was working at the bar at night and then going to school during the day to be a personal trainer. And then I got my first job as a personal trainer. And then through that, I realized that I needed to go to college, and I needed to get a degree to do what I wanted to do. And I wanted to study sports medicine. So I got the ball rolling on with my GI Bill, and ended up going to college. And then through college, I ended up doing part time work um, with my uncle, and I ended up doing uh, paint paint auto body restoration on classic cars. So I was like
Okay.
learning all these skills, and little by little, like things started going my way. And I was able to stop smoking weed. I was able to stop drinking, and just really just clean my life up and get some clarity in there. Started going to church, and little by little, things they kept this just getting better and better. But it was a long road. It was a long, long road, man.
Dude, hey, good for you, man. I'm glad that you live in proof, man. God got more in store for you, bro. Got it for all of us, really. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So one bit at a time, but that's all you can really do, right?
Right.
When you get into that dark place, you got to just take a little bit at a time. You know, you got to just one step
Yeah.
at a time, and then just don't turn around, man. Just don't turn around. Don't stop. Just
Yeah.
keep going in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I think what made that journey difficult is we unfortunately had a lot of our friends pass away in that time. So I think that really hit me hard along the way too. And I just felt like this deep desire to um, just really try to reach out to a lot of people, and stay in contact with all my friends that we deployed with.
Yeah,
I'm a big advocate on reaching out to people, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to understand us the way that no one's going to understand me the way you understand me, or anybody else that I serve with understands
yeah.
me. And
No, you're right.
that's no diss to any of my family members or my
Yeah.
civilian friends, but they're just not going to understand.
Nah, dude, it's yeah, that's the best way to put it, bro. But hey, I appreciate you for checking in on everybody too, because we all should, man. Like you don't know what
Right.
anyone else is going through. Man, look who we lost, bro. Reynolds,
Yeah.
suicide. Rex, suicide.
Suicide. Yeah.
Palmer, suicide. It's too many, bro. If there's
Yeah.
any more, it's just all too many, dude. It's like
Yeah.
you never know what these people are going through, but we all see that dark day. We got to be able to just pick up the phone and call somebody, or because I guess people don't think they have a way out, right?
Mhm.
That's why they do that. But
Right.
it's like a permanent solution to a temporary problem, like everyone loves saying, right? Like we've all
Yeah.
heard it before, but it's like, man, props to you for reaching out and staying in contact, dude. That means it means a lot, dude. People probably appreciate you for that a lot. So what about your disability then? You started going in the right direction. So you got a disability rating now. You got out with zero, just like I did.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Um,
School benefits. Did you start using that for like your personal training stuff, or was that sort of different? But go ahead and touch
yeah.
on that stuff.
I did. I think my advice to any veteran out there is to really think about how you use those resources. I realized that you could, as a veteran, you could apply for financial aid and use your GI Bill on top of that, and I had
Yes,
no
sir.
idea. So my personal training course was a 9-month course, so I took 9 months off of my GI Bill.
Okay.
But I realized down the line that I could have used financial aid to pay for that instead of using it on the personal training course.
Okay.
So for me, it was a learning process of, damn, I should have used my GI Bill later down the line in school instead of using it right away. Um, and then when it came down to my disability, um, I checked into the VA maybe 4 months after I ETS'd. And I went in there and I tried to talk to the doctor about disability, and he was like, he wasn't really. I mean, he helped me. He gave me some good information, but he was kind of like, look, like, I mean, he was blunt. He goes, look, you have nothing. You have nothing on your medical record of your back or your knees and ankles or your mental health
Yeah.
or your hearing, hearing tinnitus. So it's going to be very difficult for you to build a case to go to apply for disability. So that kind of left me in limbo for a couple years, and then I got into contact with a friend, and he basically walked me through everything. And he was like, "Look, man, you were in the infantry for 6 years. You
Yeah.
deployed. You have certain things that you can go off of to
Yes.
help get that disability." So it was a long process. It took me about 5 years. Um, but eventually I got my disability rating, which was a huge help, man. It was a huge help. It gave me health insurance. It gave me a lot of things that I truly needed to have,
Yeah.
Um, but it was I tell everybody, 'cause my friends still in, my friends that were getting out over the last 5 years, like, do it now while you're still in. This is the easiest time for you to do it while you're still in, because once you get that DD 214, it is going to be hell on earth to try and do it afterwards. It's not impossible, but
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
a lengthy process. It is a very lengthy process. So, I mean, if anybody sees this, you do it while you still can. Do it while you still can.
Seriously, dude. Did you have a copy of your medical records when you got out?
No, bro. I
So that's
got
what I'm
into a
saying. It's kind of crazy. Even though if they gave you something, you said you didn't even have one because, like, we all know the stigma behind sick call. Like we were talking about, like you're weak, you're
yeah.
this, you're that. Like you probably would have started going to sick call back in Afghanistan or even before if you got hurt on
Oh,
a run or whatever,
absolutely.
just to get it marked, dude. Just go and get it documented. Who
Oh yeah.
cares what anyone else thinks? Because I was gonna say something crazy. I was gonna say, like, dude, if you're on the sidewalk, people are still gonna be on that battalion run, and you're gonna be on there with a change cup or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Dude, just swallow your pride and go after what's yours, man.
Absolutely.
But like,
Absolutely.
go ahead. My bad.
I heard somebody say, somebody I think it was at the VA at one time. They were asking me what like my rating was and if I'd gotten one. And the veteran told me, he said, look, the army was running before you were there, and it's gonna run after you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not always gonna be in the army. The army is gonna continue moving no matter what. So
Yeah,
it's your job to try to document everything that you can and swallow your pride. Who cares about what anybody says? If you're
yeah,
hurt, you're hurt. If you need help, you need help. Go
yeah,
get it documented, because like you said, if you don't get it documented, a it's just going to be even harder to do anything about it. And so I had gotten into it with the medical file people at the unit in Hawaii,
okay.
and they didn't want to give me a copy of my medical records.
Why not?
Because they were telling me they're like, oh, you can apply to get a copy once you're out from like Washington D.C. or from
Right.
the this and that. And I started yelling at the lady. I was like, I don't understand. You have my file. It's right here. I have it in my hand. Why can't I get a copy of this? And they're like, "Oh, you can do it afterwards. Don't worry about it." So I ended up getting kicked out of the office because I was making a scene and they didn't want to give me my record. So
Dude,
it's
classic.
just yeah.
Hey, I was looking down because I wanted to use my calculator real quick because I was interested to see. It took me 5 years to get
Mhm.
100% permanent total, but if I would have had it on day one, bro, I would have had. Let me tell you,
See,
250,000, man. Like,
yeah,
it's not all about the money. I'm just saying, like, I can look back and just laugh because I didn't know, man. And now
yeah,
it's not all about the money either. It's about the care. It's about the
yeah,
treatment. It's about the tax homestead for your house. It's about
Yeah.
the tuition for your kids or your spouse. It's
Oh
about
yeah.
parking. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's just about just
The
getting
gig
what's yours.
homeowner
It's
and all
not
that
just
stuff.
about like, oh, we're telling you to lie. No, dude. If you served and you got hurt,
Yeah.
or girls, boys, like go get taken care of, man. Like
Absolutely,
it's
bro.
life changing, bro. Like I mean, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? We're living proof. We're going through it. You're still
Yeah.
got yours going on, so
And
keep going,
it
bro. Just don't give up. Like you never gave up on
yeah.
yourself. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's up to us. No one's really going to do it for us. I could tell you
Right. I
everything to do.
agree.
You could tell me everything to do. If I don't do hey, yo, Johnny, did you do the claim? Nah, I didn't call him today. Well, I can't call him for you. I don't even know your social. I have to call him for you and say I'm you and go to all your appointments. Like,
Yeah.
so just do it, man.
No, absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Absolutely. I had a conversation with some old buddies, and they were like, "Well, we don't feel like we deserve, disability or, this and that." And I said, "Look, you got up every day at 5:30 in the morning. You did PT, you did combat focus PT, you did the deployment, you did the live fires, you were in the field nonstop. You gave up so much of your life. How do you not deserve it? Like
Right.
all of them have back problems, all of them have knee problems, all of them have hearing problems. Like those right there should be enough to push you to get it, because you're not gonna be young forever, man. Like this
Right.
stuff's gonna hopefully catch up to you.
What would you say to like your younger self or anyone in the military? What would your message back to the ranks or to the old Santy be like right now with everything you know? What would you sum it up as?
Take man, like a message to me back then.
First, yeah, or anyone in
Oh,
the same shoes as you, bro.
anybody,
Like,
take care of
from
yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Think about your future. Like I said before, the army was running prior to you ever even being in the ranks, and the army is going to continue to run even
yeah,
way after. So at some point, it's okay to be selfish in that mindset of worrying about yourself, taking care of yourself, going to sick call when you need to, going to looking out for your buddies and looking out for your mental health. Like these things will affect you when the train stops. And I think for a lot of veterans, once that train stops and you get out, I think it's you're running 100 miles an hour, and then you fall flat on your face, and you gotta figure out, who do you want to be after the military. I think that's
yeah.
what I would say to myself. Who do
Okay,
you
that's
want to be
great. That's great.
after? Who do you want to be afterward? What do you want to stand for? What do you like how do you want to take everything that you learned and translate that in your next life?
Yeah.
Because once that door is closed and once that book is put away, it's gone forever, you know?
You're absolutely right, dude. And like you said, maybe even not plan A, but plan B and plan C, because
Yeah,
plan A might have been walking in and having that conversation with that lady.
yeah,
Plan A just blew up. And then you're like, man, I'm not going to school. And it's like so you put your own benefits on the back burner just because you had a bad experience. So it's like, I guess, what some people say, like, they're like, don't hurry quit, like, don't, like, even with the army, like, don't hurry quit, just say you're so done with it, like, take the
yeah,
time to do the research to figure out
yeah,
the
oh,
best
yeah.
way to get out. You know
Yeah,
what I
this
mean? Because, like,
oh,
dude, once
absolutely.
you're out, you're screwed, man. The paychecks, the paycheck doesn't even come that fast. You might have had to wait because they have to audit your last paycheck. So
Yeah,
that's another thing that people have been bringing up to, don't think that money's coming on the 1st or the 15th, because it might be a little
yeah,
bit after. I think I
yeah,
talked to someone, they had their paycheck days or like weeks after. I'm like, dang, that's a long time. So if you're
yeah,
strapped for cash, lifestyle inflation, or you living large, you
yeah,
driving a Ford Raptor, 30% interest rate that you bought outside of Schofield Barracks or whatever, like, you better get in check, dude. Like, this
yeah,
isn't financial advice, but we just being real. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's,
I mean, the
dude.
way I see it, you had a packing list when you went out to the field, right?
Yeah,
You made sure everything on that packing list was in your rucksack. The same mindset needs to be used when you're getting ready to get out of the military. You got to have money put away. You got to have plan A, B, and C. You got to figure out if everything you need annotated is annotated on your medical record.
and you
And
got a
you need
copy of it.
and yeah, absolutely, a copy of it. And also there's a lot of programs that the army offers that I didn't know until years later down the line. You can get your truck driving license. You can go to school to be a plumber or an electrician, and the army will pay for it. There's certain programs that you can do to get out of school. And even I even had a conversation about the National Guard with a buddy of mine who's a National Guard recruiter. He said he thinks it would benefit a lot of veterans if they went into the National Guard for a couple of years to kind of ease off of being active duty and
Okay.
still doing the military part time and allowing yourself a comfortable transition instead of just going cold turkey and getting out. So
Okay.
that's always an option
Yeah, that's an option. Yeah,
for a
definitely.
lot of people.
Yeah. What was one word to describe your military service? My It's kind of hard because you got a mixed boat. Like Germany was a good time, good unit. Then
Yeah,
you got like the total opposite. But I guess if you had to describe it in one word, what would you say?
wild. It was wild,
There
man.
you go.
It
That's pretty good. That's
was
pretty good word,
wild.
man. That could describe both. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
it was.
yeah, that was crazy, dude. What was your favorite? Hey, that's I want to start asking people this one too, since I was food service. But what was your favorite food in the like your military favorite food? Like had to come from like cooks in the military.
Oh man, chicken cordon bleu.
Damn.
The
Pre
chicken cordon. Yeah,
frozen, man, frozen. Heat it up, bro. But that was a pretty good one though. Not bad for frozen food and stuff like that.
yeah, chicken cordon bleu, and then what was the other one? Man, I can't. I'm
What
trying to
about
think.
what about this one when we had the Iron Chef competition when
Oh
me
yeah,
when me Hogan and Ayala won that shit
yeah,
when the Sergeant Major Sims or Colonel Sims and Sergeant Major Ingram came on the helicopter and they
yeah.
all came, bro, and we won that ARCOM Fox Troop, baby. And
Yeah, that
we used to that
that
was
was
wild,
fire, man.
but we
Yeah,
made it work though, man. The foxhole,
yeah,
remember y'all made the sign for it and everything. Had the Florida. I got the Florida flag, bro. It's still in my office, the same one we flew
I
on the.
still have my California flag that I had the whole platoon sign. I
There
still
you
have
go.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
but,
So that was cordon bleu. What was your favorite MRE?
oh, dude, chili mac.
Chili
Had
Mac.
to. Yeah, chili mac. Had to crush the
Uh,
crackers in it, put the cheese, squeeze the cheese in it. Yeah, dude.
you know
Yeah, I
how they
would.
got like the jailhouse YouTube videos? We need to make like MRE gourmet YouTube video, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Nah,
Um,
what was your favorite? Hey, what was your favorite club in Germany?
man, there's depends on what city you were in.
You got to give out. Give them
There
one.
was
Give them
there
one
in
close because if anyone's listening, Vilsec, we know you don't like to leave and go off base. So you're probably in line at the DFAC right now. So let them know where to go in Nuremberg, bro.
I mean, man, I would say the one back in those days was like the spot, and then there was a in Munich there was a half Australian, half English bar
Yeah,
that we used to go to in Munich. Man, that place was awesome. But yeah, I would say club wise, I think the one was the
there you
spot
go.
for me. Yeah.
That's another crazy thing too. Like you come in the army, and even if you're under 21, you can still drink in Germany. So you get
Oh yeah.
stationed there first. That can throw you for a big loop, man. So
Yeah,
you
I
could,
was 19 when I got there, bro, and the unit had just gotten back from Afghanistan, and I like within the first 3 weeks of me being there, we had a company fun day,
yeah.
and we got released in PTs to go to the company fun day because we were doing it in PTs, and my team leader looks at me and he goes take take your ass to the shopette and buy a 30 pack and meet us at the park, and like I just looked at him, bro, and I was like, what? I was like, it's 6:30 in the morning. What do you mean? He's like, I'm not gonna repeat myself or I'm gonna scuff you up. Run to the shop at and buy a 30 pack. And I was like, all right. So I took off running, showed up to the park with a 30 pack, and everybody was drinking, bro. Like at seven in the morning, the company fun day, everybody was drinking. The lieutenants, the commander, the first sergeant, like everybody was drinking, man. So it was, and I was 19. I had no clue what was going on, but it was a good time, man. It was
You,
wild.
yeah, you found out real quick, man. Hey, do you want to say anything that might be on your mind or anything like that? We'll do some more closing things, but I just want to open it up for you if you want to say anything.
Yeah, man. I think if I had any advice to any veterans out there, it would be to find community. Find what makes you click with a community, whether it be a veteran group, a biker club, a sports team, church, anything. I think one thing that really helped me through that time was I started doing a podcast as well. I put it on the back burner recently, but the name of it is called Flipping the Switch. How do we
Okay.
flip the switch from that military mindset to the civilian mindset, the veteran mindset?
Okay.
And one thing I learned through that time of doing the 12 episodes that I did was everybody had a different perspective on transition. Everybody had a certain thing that they did after the military, but the one thing that I saw in common was community.
Okay.
You definitely need a community support system, um, and reach out. There's no shame in admitting to somebody that you need help. There's no shame in calling somebody. I always tell everybody they can call me whenever. Like, my phone is always on. If I don't answer, just keep calling me. Um, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think and also talking, sharing story, sharing story. There's some sort of peace that I find with doing things like this.
Yeah.
Talking about, hey, you remember that one time? Hey, you remember when this happened and so got yelled at and then we all got smoked? Or
Yeah.
um, I think I find so much peace in that, because you don't necessarily, as veterans, we don't necessarily have a lot of opportunity to do things like this. And I think that's another reason why I did the podcast that I was doing. Is it was just, I love story time, man. I love sharing stories. I love hearing about these stories, because a lot of times, veterans box these memories up, and
Yeah.
they eventually just go away. A lot of times we don't get an opportunity to talk about it. Um, but finding that sense of community is so important, man.
Yeah.
It's so important. We can't do this on our own.
No,
I
you're
don't think
absolutely
we
right.
can. I think we can get pretty far on our own, but I think eventually that community comes into play, and we need it. We
No,
need
you're
it.
you're right. No one
You
wants
know?
to be alone at the end of the. I mean, it's cool to be alone and gather your thoughts and go for a walk, but at the end of the day, does it, you don't really want to be alone. You want to be part of something, man. I mean,
Right.
I played sports. I always was part of the team. I love that. A part of the army. Yeah, man. It is definitely a lost, like, it's like a lost art once you get out, unless you do stuff like this or like meet up like for weddings and stuff like you guys did.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
keep doing that, and just like we got to just keep pressing, man. But
Absolutely.
where can they find your podcasts on? Are you on Spotify? Are you on YouTube? Where are you at?
I was on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. Okay.
Yeah, I was uploading them on SoundCloud, and I was in the process of trying to get them on iTunes and Spotify.
Okay.
But life just kind of took over, and a lot of the files ended up getting corrupted. So I'm working on re-uploading a lot of those files
Okay.
and then picking back up, because I miss doing it, man. I had a lot of fun doing it, just like
Yeah.
I'm sure you're having a lot of fun doing
Yeah, dude,
doing
it's
this
crazy,
too.
bro. It is amazing, man, because it's like therapy on top of like story
Absolutely.
time, on top
Yeah.
of on top of like helping people. Yeah, dude, do it, bro. Get back
Yeah.
on, man. Get back
It,
on.
and it was cool, man, because you get so many different perspectives, and you
Yeah,
get so many different eras of the army.
that
Like,
too.
one of the last ones I did was with Sergeant Dennis, and he joined the army 2001. So we
Okay.
literally went through his army career from 2001 to 2000. I think he got out to 2021 is when he got out. So there's so many different eras of the army, through Iraq, through Afghanistan, through the
Yeah.
invasion. So it was cool, man. It was really cool, and I miss doing it. But they were on SoundCloud, but I'm working on getting them back up.
All right. When they get back up, when I load this to YouTube, will you just send me a link and we'll load it if anyone wants to check it out? So,
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
I mean,
Absolutely.
what was I going to ask you? What are you working on right now for yourself? Like what you got going on? You working on anything like personal
Yeah, bro.
or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm still working for my uncle. Still doing the auto body paint restoration on the classic cars, and
Okay.
then going to school. Going to
GI,
school right now.
using GI Bill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm almost out of it. So
Hey, real quick on
yeah.
that though, if I could help you offline too, you could go on va.gov and you can apply for VRE. It's called like Veterans Readiness and Employment. I can send you the link to or help you offline, but just for anyone that's listening that might be in the same predicament. So if it's 10% service connected or more, which you are, you can go ahead and apply for it, and you probably get something in the mail to
Oh
talk to
wow.
your counselor. And it's they have 5 tracks, but let's just talk about the one about school. So it's a little bit, it's like the GI Bill on steroids, I call it, because you're still going to get the BAH. It's the same
Oh
BAH
wow.
you're getting now,
Yeah.
but you can get a free computer, you can get a free printer, you can get other stuff if you have disabilities, and you can work with your counselor because they're supposed to help. They're supposed to help you with that. And also when you graduate, as long as you're looking for a job for 2 months, they'll pay you
Oh
BAH when you're
wow.
looking for a job in transition. So I
Yeah.
think for
Yeah.
someone like you, you're a prime candidate because even like you just said, you're going to run out of your GI Bill. But if you can get into that, you can get it extended and maybe even go, it's you just got to work through some stuff.
Yeah.
This is like the rehabilitation program to help people get work. So some people find
Oh,
it
okay.
hard, but they got Facebook groups and all
Uh-huh.
type of stuff, man. But let me know if you need my help
Yeah,
because
absolutely,
you
man. I
can get that
appreciate that.
going, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No problem. It's easy too,
Definitely.
man. You've already gone through the ringer, so this
Yeah.
one's quite easy. You just go apply for it, va.gov. They'll hit you up with the contact information. Then you just stay on top of it. You say, "Oh, my counselor wants to talk this time." You do like a little bit of legwork. You say, "Hey, you pretty much do your research before you go in and be like, hey, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to get a master's degree in business because I want to do a business with my uncle doing whatever you come up with,
Yeah.
right? And then you
Yeah.
say, okay, let me get this. Some people have good counselors, like the VA, like that lady that you
Uh-huh.
talk to, or some people might
Yeah.
have someone yell at them in the first day and then they get rid of them. But this is a
Mhm.
program that's here for veterans, so
Well, that's
take
awesome,
advantage,
man.
bro. I went to use it. I was using my GI Bill. I used it for a month. I talked to a warrant officer at my school that was
Uh-huh.
retired. He said, use Voc Rehab. So I used that. Now
Yeah.
I got my bachelor's degree in
Oh,
business.
nice.
Now I'm going for my master's, but guess what? I got my whole GI Bill still. So that's 7 years of
Oh,
school,
yeah.
bro. People are
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
doctor's degree, people getting master's degree. It's anything's possible. People just don't have the wherewithal. Not saying you don't. I'm just saying a lot of people
yeah,
give
yeah,
up
yeah.
on
No, a
themselves. You
lot of
know what I
people
mean?
just don't know, bro. Like,
That
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people just there's so many programs out there that I had no clue about. Like I did an interview with a buddy, and he put me on a dental plans that they have
Oh,
in
really?
each state for veterans,
Okay.
discounted dental plans.
We
Um,
need that.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow.
dentist not cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff out there that I think as a community, I think it's amazing how we all bring it to the table. Like, hey, did you know about this? Did you know about
Yeah.
that? And I think that's what we need, man. So I thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely
No
need that.
problem, dude. I got you, bro, if you need help on that. But yeah, man, I to you, props to you, bro. I'm glad you've been doing well. This isn't like a scripted conversation. You hit me up. You said you wanted to chat. We caught
Yeah.
up. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you're doing well and you made it out. Just for you to know, if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here for you and everybody else. So,
Likewise,
if you
brother.
ever
Thank
find
you.
yourself in dark times, hit me up,
Mhm.
bro. We can pull each
Thank you,
other
bro.
up and keep it going. But you got anything else that you want to leave on?
Nah, brother. I think we're all
All
good. I
right.
think we covered a lot, man. Thank you.
No problem, bro. I appreciate you being on. And hey, oh, one more. That's one thing. Who do you challenge to come on here and share their story?
Oh man.
Name a few if you got to,
Trying
because
to think.
some people might not show up to the occasion. I'd be surprised
Yeah.
if everyone that gets called out does. So prove me wrong that everyone that gets called out, not even just on this on video, but on all of them that come and show up,
Yeah.
man.
I
Let's see
mean,
what y'all do.
if I were you, I would like I would like Sergeant Dennis to come on here, man.
He's
That'd be
coming.
pretty
No, he
cool.
said he's coming, so you can't use him. He
Yeah,
said he's
that
coming
should be
already.
a really good one, man. He was a fun interview, man. So
You
I would
got to
like to
give me
see.
someone else that he's already coming, so that can't be yours. You got to give me someone
Uh,
else.
I would like to see. I mean, Sergeant Winterson. You remember Sergeant Winterson?
Yeah,
Sergeant
he said,
Winterson.
yeah, where's he at, man? He liking the post and saying, keep it up.
Yeah.
Where you at, Sean?
Yeah,
Corey?
I would like to see him on there too. I was supposed to do an interview with him too. So I would definitely like to see him on here.
All right,
That'd be pretty
Winterson,
cool.
where you at, man? Get on here, do formation, man. Get your ass that parade wrist.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. But hey, it's been nice talking to you, man, and keep
You
in
too,
touch.
brother.
We'll
Thank
get you
you.
on that PRNE, all right?
Yeah, thank you,
Or
bro.
at
I
least try
appreciate
it.
it.
All right, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks everybody
All right.
for listening in. Until next time, y'all have a blessed one.